The next question, Your Eminence, is number 231. Why was marriage instituted in the first place?
Marriage was instituted for bringing children into this world, for educating them, and for helping husband and wife. And these aims are all important. So not only what we call procreation and education of children, which is in the very nature of marriage and the Marriage Act, but also the mutual assistance and therefore inbuilt growth of husband and wife, if they will live well the aims of this institution.
So the husband and wife helping one another to achieve their eternal salvation.
Yes, their eternal salvation, and helping one another also in human growth, in growth as persons, sustaining one another. That love, physical, spiritual, cultural, supernatural, all of it should grow. Marriage is for all that, is a total self-giving. It is comprehensive. They give self to one another without reserve. They should walk together in the pilgrimage of life.
I'll never forget an incident that happened to me a number of years ago. We were invited to a camp to give a talk on marriage. And these were young women, around 19 years old. Most of them were sponsored by the 4-H clubs, which means they came from the farming communities throughout the United States, not from the inner cities, but the farming areas. And it was a full-week program. There was no music, no TV, much like our Holy Family Fest. They opened every morning with Vespers or prayers, and they closed with prayers at night. And I was anticipating a very uplifting Christian group to talk to. And one of the subjects was, well, why marriage? And I gave the same explanation you just gave. Why the sacrament of marriage? Why is marriage so important? To bring children into the world, to help one another, help the spouse. And they just flew into a frenzy. It's amazing. The whole 300 of them, it was just, they went bananas to think that that was all marriage was for. They were shouting out that you know, you've got 12 kids, you've got to be crazy. Your wife needs her freedom, her dignity. She needs a career. You know, and it was just unbelievable. And a little black girl stood up, and I thought she was going to nail me too, because they all were nailing me on there. And she got their attention, and she just said, "Hey, we never ever treated a speaker like this before. In many years I've been coming here, and everyone has the rights to express their feelings." And she got the control of the group. But it was really shocking, because this was mainstream America. This wasn't the fringe America that was just on materialism. This was normally from the farming communities in America, which is the very backbone of America. And we can see how the whole idea of womanhood and of marriage has degenerated in our education system.
Yes, public opinion has, not only in your country, in some other countries, particularly where there is material well-being, it tends to downgrade the institution of marriage and look on it simply as a pleasure arrangement for individuals.
That's right.
That stunts the growth of the couple. They don't grow as much as they could have grown.
Right, because they're looking at the career seems to be the dominant thing. They want to have their career and their freedom, and the dignity of motherhood is played down so much. It's unbelievable. And here, you know, we're just seeing this in our country. We're just falling apart at the seams because we don't have stable families anymore, because mothers aren't called to be mothers anymore.
That is sad, because motherhood is the glory for the woman. Every woman is called to be a mother, either physical mother, the married women, rejoicing in their children, well brought up, or spiritual mother, if they are religious women, for example. And spiritual motherhood means then that they have given of their love, sacrificed themselves for others. But you see, the formula is the same. Self-sacrifice for others. And the pelican, you know, that bird, pelican. We hear that the pelican is the bird that when it has young ones, it pecks itself. It opens up itself, the blood, and the young ones suck the blood. And they suck the blood, and that's how they grow. Then their mother dies. I am not suggesting that every mother should die so that the children will live. But every good mother wants, every good woman wants to be a mother, physical or spiritual, in the sense I explained. In both cases, it is out of love. The more she gives herself, the greater she grows as a woman. And we say the same about the man. And the more a person is selfish, the more the person becomes a spiritual dwarf. The person is stunted in growth.
I think this whole women's lib movement started really because husbands abdicated their leadership within the family. I believe the husbands were the cause of it more than the women. Because we see so much today in our own culture, husbands abandoning their families, walking out on their families, leaving them. Not today, it's not only leaving them, but wanting their wives to support them, or not giving their wives any support, and their wives are taking care of the children. And many of the husbands even turning in their wives and not wanting them to either earn a livelihood. So we see this incredible unnatural way that men are living too. So it is, I believe, it spawned the whole women's lib movement, and because men fell out of authority in their homes and fidelity to their wives and their children.
Again, we must return to true love.
Yes.
Not superficial one. True love means appreciation for the other and readiness to sacrifice self for the other. And preferring to suffer rather than see the other person suffer. How many people qualify?